Hey everybody, welcome to today's research-informed defensive lesson here at Active Self-Protection. Every single day of the year, we post a real-life use of force incident caught on camera so that your training and your practice can be more research-informed. I'm your daily host, John Correa.
And I'm your co-host today, Neil Widener.
Today's video is brought to us by Mantis. The Mantis family of products is integral to ASP staff building handgun and carbine skills and are your most economical and fastest path to improvement in your skills too. Whether you choose the X10, the Laser Academy, the Blackbeard, or use them all in concert, they will help your practice be more effective, efficient, and fun. Go check them out, pick up a unit, and thank them for sponsoring today's video.
This one's out of Los Angeles, and you can see this couple on the right. They are coming back from being away from home. They've been followed home by the guy who is running up, who is out on bond for 5 separate robberies, according to the news story that I've linked in the description. That's lovely, and he is going to commit a 6th here because he's going to run up with a firearm and demand the man's watch. And he has a partner who's going to come up as well. You see his lady is going to kind of wander off a little bit while the guy's partner comes up and starts trying to get his watch off. So clearly they had seen the fact he had a nice watch on. Our gunman is going to go over to the lady while the accomplice is going to go over and try to take the watch off of our homie. He doesn't want to have his watch taken. The lady did get all her valuables that the guy wanted stolen. So they are, when he sticks a gun in his gut, so you see him sticking his gun right in that guy's belly at that point, he's gonna be like, oh, you wanted this watch? Oh, this is the watch you wanted? Okay, fine. He gives it up. They run off. The police have a name for this guy that they were looking for. I didn't see any additional news stories that he had been arrested. Honestly, I didn't do the Google foo to see if he was in the California Department of Corrections, if they ever caught this guy. So if you want to do that as an ASP fan, I would sure appreciate it. Hit the details in the comments, and I will laud you in feasting and song in a pinned comment. Hey, if you want to train and make your skill set better in a live fire environment, Neil Widener is the guy who runs our Active Self-Protection live training program.
Yeah, it's a good time. We travel around a few different places in the country. This year, we're going to 5 locations. If you want to see where that location is, hit the link, go to the Train With Us tab, and get in on the ASP Skills Summit is what we're calling it this time. It's a good time, a lot of fun time. You're going to get to put a lot of ammo down range, and hopefully learn something along the way.
I do think it is worth saying, Neil, that this is a nice neighborhood. This is North Hollywood in California. You can see very nice cars in the garage, and this couple just kind of, heading off to their apartment. And bad guys travel, man, and they come from bad neighborhoods into good neighborhoods because that's where the nice stuff is. And so paying attention to your world, maybe not wearing the flashy jewelry, maybe getting out of the danger zone as quickly as you can. These are all good pre-attack principles.
Yeah, I think watching what you do while you're out and about, paying attention. Clearly, they ran into each other somewhere else along the way because they knew about the watch. That's not something that you just see as somebody pulls in. They've had some interaction in the past, and paying attention when you get out of your car, get to where you're going to go, so that you can avoid these kind of situations.
I'm not saying that you can't wear a nice watch, okay? If you got money, you want to wear a nice watch, you want to wear your Rolex, you want to wear your Patek Philippe, whatever. I'm not into watch, guys, so I'm not sure which ones the right ones are. That's cool. Like totally do your thing. But recognize it does raise your risk profile, okay? Because bad guys are going to see that too, and they're going to follow you. Now, I do think it's worth noting that, okay, this was a couple years ago. This actually was from 2023 is when it happened. That's how far back we are at some of these videos. And yes, bail reform is a mess, right? You'd certainly think that maybe like, hold on a minute, somebody that has jumped their bail 3 times, 4 times, 5 times for robbery, maybe a judge would realize, hey, you're a danger to my community, but that's not the reality that we live in some locations. So if that's one of the places that you live in, that the district attorney and that the local judges will allow people out on bond, well, you're just gonna have to be the one that deals with it. Now, Neil, I do think there's another interesting bit here, that this is why we tell people to be armed and be prepared and pay attention to their surroundings, because nobody's coming to save you, and they didn't keep this guy in jail. And I do think it's worth noting here that when he does come up, it's not the person that we normally think of as the defender that has the real opportunity.
It's really not. The first time I watched this, the thing I thought was, if this lady, if the wife or girlfriend or whatever it is armed, she's not the initial point of contact. Our bad guys typically go after what they feel like is the biggest threat towards them, which is the husband or boyfriend in this case. So she's standing right here. If she's got a gun on her, I'm not a purse carry guy, but if she's got a gun in her purse, she's got time to get that out and go to work and do what she needs to do to protect life. We've got a bad guy that is threatening with a firearm. He needs to be shot. That's a reasonable conclusion to this scenario, and she had a real opportunity here. I was hoping when I first watched this that she was armed and she was going to be the defender here. Unfortunately, she wasn't, and then she made some less than great decisions going on. But I really would have loved to seen her get a gun out and go to work.
Now, remember, what we see here is if the bad guy shows you his ear, and this bad guy has showed her his ear, and you have a 1.5 second draw to first shot, there's nothing he's going to do to get around fast enough to you in order to beat you to that first shot. Now, if she has to dig a gun out of her purse, that would be difficult. But if she's walking through this transitional space of the parking garage, has her hand pre-staged in her purse, then maybe a possibility. Even better on your person, this is why things like the Filster Enigma exist, or just a good, on-body holster to get that gun out quickly and get it on target. She's the one. Ladies, hear me. You are an integral part of self-defense. And fellas, if you have a lady who carries and is competent with her firearm, you thank God for her and you tell her how grateful you are to her. Now, as this progresses, I want to notice that our lady, like you said just a second ago, Neil, she kind of moseys off. And I think she's trying to go slowly, hoping that they don't notice her moseying off. But I think that's a bad strategy. I think the second you break contact or you have the opportunity, you want to go as fast and as hard as you possibly can. And I think maybe she's kind of thinking about, well, wait a minute, I don't want to abandon my spouse. But listen, I told my wife and kids when they were little, when my kids were little, my wife, has been an adult the whole time I've known her. Well, I guess we met in junior high school, so not so much. But the point being that, hey, if you see a gun of any kind, get down and get away from me because things are about to get loud and I need to go to work. So getting out of the danger zone fast is the better answer here.
I would have loved to have seen her, even if she drops the purse and takes off running, and I don't know how fast she can run, and in those shoes, who knows? But she is just, like you say, moseying. And I think that is potentially her idea. Her idea there was, if I just kind of sneak off, maybe they won't recognize me or they won't see me. And again, the whole I'm attached to this person, but you already know that they are focused in on that other person. And, my significant other and just about everyone I know would say, listen, I would rather only one of us is going to survive. I would rather it was you. That's kind of the way these things go. So get away. There's no need to stay in the danger zone. If you throw your purse to make it a distraction to get them looking at something else, that's completely acceptable too. But man, if she takes off running, I don't know that the guy with the gun chases her down. Now, if he does, that gives the husband or the boyfriend here a fighting chance to fight somebody that's at least not shown that they're armed yet. So lots of different options and lots of different things that could have happened in this case. But I would have liked to have seen her moving rather than just moseying.
Now let's think about the man a little bit here too, right? So he is now, guy's really keyed on his left arm because that's where his watch is. And okay, so most people are right-handed. So I know some folks who would think, oh, hey, I'm going to go for my gun with my right hand. I would honestly recommend from a tactics perspective, you really want to create some positional dominance first, which the best positional dominance is distance. And so what does that mean? Man, it means your right hand is free and you want to put that right upside that guy's head as best you can. And then that creates a little bit of distraction and a little bit of space to get your gun out. Now, of course, this is in Los Angeles County, Neil. And so I know that California is shall issue just like the rest of the country. But in Los Angeles County, it's very, very difficult to get a concealed carry permit. So not a lot of people are armed. But if you're going to resist here, resist fully. It feels to me like our guy here kind of resisted halfway. He was just kind of trying to say, nuh-uh, don't take my stuff. And against an armed opponent like we have here, I don't think that's a great strategy.
Yeah, when a guy shows up to your place, wherever it is, in your parking garage, whatever, and he's got a gun, he means business. He is not there to discuss whether or not you're going to give him his watch. He is taking your stuff. That's his intent. So if his intent is to take your stuff, then your intent needs to be either to comply fully or resist fully. And as the separation happened here and the guy with the gun walked away, here's a great opportunity to to punch this guy in the face, to knee him in the groin, to push him over backwards, just to give him a big push to his chest to gain some distance, to either get your gun out or to get in the fight, one or the other. But like you say, this guy didn't really resist fully. He was just, it kind of felt like he was in a negotiation of, no, I don't really want to give you my gun, or my watch, so I'm just going to kind of push around a little bit. And that's not the right answer here. I think the right answer is to either comply fully or resist fully.
I think that's really good advice, Neil. Comply fully or resist fully. Commit to it, right? Attitude carries the day, and we see that on the channel so many times that even with a kind of a compromised skill set, if you have an incredible attitude, you can get after it. Now, of course, by this point, dude sticks a gun in your guts. The chances here of doing something big, very, very slim. You're not going to try a disarm from here because one guy's got a hold of your left arm, the other guy's got a gun in your guts. Just give the watch up. And I also think, again, let's talk about the lady here because she's standing there spectating rather than running hard away. And I think both of those are huge mistakes, Neil.
I would have loved to seen her just move and get out of there. Now, the other mistake that I think potentially we need to consider is that she is moving in the direction that the bad guys came from, which is probably where they're planning to exit from. So she's continuing to keep herself in the danger zone by moving that direction. If she'd have moved off to her right or her left, even to get between those cars and circle back around to get out of that danger zone, she's putting herself in a real risk that if they decide to do something completely stupid and pull the trigger on that gun, they're going to have another opportunity because we see them run right by her. So again, standing there and being an observer to whatever's going on, all of that action. I get it. That's your spouse, that's your loved one, and you don't want to abandon them, but you don't have anything any way to protect them, any way to change the outcome of any of this stuff. So at that point, as a spouse, I would rather that they got completely out of there and that at least somebody was okay.
That's an important point. Somebody needs to be okay. And you see her here just kind of walking away and taking her time. Get out of the danger zone here. This is just as fast as you possibly can. So these people, they live in a nice town, right? They live in North Hollywood, California. And that's, we don't expect these kinds of things. Hey, bad guys travel. You got to be ready to protect yourself. Certainly the cops aren't going to get there in time. You know that old adage, right? When seconds count, the police are only minutes away. And that's not because they're incompetent. It's just because we don't live in a police state. And I'm grateful for that. So you and only you can cover your ass here. If she was armed, man, this would have been a very quick video with a very different ending. If he was armed with a little bit of empty-handed skills, probably would have been a different ending too. But compliance is always an option. So, the statistics show that about 75% of the time, fully compliant victims in armed robberies are only injured about 25% of the time. So it's not terrible. Of course, those same statistics say that if they are armed, if the victim is armed and gets his gun out and gets a shot in the fight, then they're only injured 6% of the time. So that's a lot better, like 4 times better, in fact, which is a very good thing. Thankfully, nobody was hurt here. They did lose some property. That's what your homeowner's insurance is for. It sucks. But let's learn the lessons here so that we have a better chance next time of covering our ass.